You've probably heard someone exaggerate a story so many times that you stopped believing the details. A fish that grew with every telling, a mountain that got taller every year. You laugh it off, but what if one of the most famous stories in the Bible has been doing something similar for thousands of years, right in front of you? Not because anyone lied, because the text itself kept changing. You know the story. A shepherd boy named David faces a giant Philistine warrior named Goliath. Everyone else is terrified. David isn't. He picks up 5 smooth stones, slings one, and ends the fight before it really starts. It feels simple. A small hero, a huge enemy, a clean victory. But here's what you never noticed. The Bible doesn't actually agree on how big Goliath was. Open a modern Bible, and 1 Samuel 17:4 tells you Goliath stood 6 cubits and a span. That's roughly 9 feet 9 inches. A wall of a man, taller than any human on record. Now open the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest surviving Hebrew manuscripts we have, along with the ancient Greek Septuagint and the historian Josephus. They all give a different number, 4 cubits and a span, about 6'9". Still enormous, still terrifying to face with a sling, but suddenly human-sized. So which number is the original, and why does it matter? Scholars believe the taller number crept in later, likely through a scribal error, a repeated digit that slipped from a nearby line of text. It happened. Ancient copying was done by hand, letter by letter, for centuries. Small mistakes got carried forward and eventually treated as fact. That single copying slip turned a formidable soldier into a mythical giant. And once you know that, the story doesn't get smaller, it gets more real, because a 6'9" Philistine champion wasn't fantasy. Philistine warriors were known for advanced bronze armor and iron weapons, technology Israel barely had access to at the time. 1 Samuel 17:5-7 describes Goliath's coat of mail, his bronze helmet, his spear like a weaver's beam. This wasn't a folk-tale villain. This was the most heavily armed soldier David had ever seen, trained for war since childhood, standing in a valley daring anyone to fight him one-on-one. Have you ever faced someone so prepared, so intimidating, that just standing across from them felt like losing already? That's the moment David walks into. Not a boy chasing glory, a boy who has spent years alone in the hills protecting sheep from lions and bears with nothing but a sling. To him, the sling wasn't a toy. Ancient slingers were feared battlefield units, capable of hurling stones with the force of a modern handgun, accurate at distances that outranged a sword. David wasn't underestimated by accident. He was underestimated because Goliath, and everyone watching, assumed a real fight only looked one way. Armor against armor, size against size. David says something easy to rush past in 1 Samuel 17:45. He tells Goliath he comes not with sword and spear, but in the name of the Lord. It's not a boast. It's a redefinition of what strength even means in this story. The battle was never really about height cubit for cubit. It was about which kind of power you put your trust in when the odds are stacked against you. So why does the exaggerated number matter at all? Because for centuries, people read this story and believed the point was the giant. The bigger Goliath became in the retelling, the more the story turned into spectacle. But strip away the extra height, and the truth underneath is sharper, not softer. An ordinary young man, undertrained and under-armored by every visible standard, walked toward the most dangerous man in the valley and didn't blink. That takes something no measurement can capture. You've probably heard someone exaggerate a story so many times that you stopped believing the details mattered. But sometimes the exaggeration isn't the lie, it's the distraction, and the real story, the one hiding underneath the extra inches, was never about how big the giant was. It was about how small fear becomes when you've already decided what you're standing on.